Hi again. It's been a while since I did a video about the garden. Since our last video, well, my first video, the garden has doubled in size. It's gone from kind of big to really big. We have had an issue with pests in the cauliflower, mainly the Brussels sprouts. Those worms I was talking about before, the Brussels sprouts are riddled with holes because of the worms. So we started using a bug repellent or pest killer that's organic. It's called Captain Jack's Dead Bug for Pests. We only applied it last weekend, so you might not really see too much of a change yet, but we can check it out and see. And we also have a problem with voles, which we've had for ever since we started having a garden. We've always had a vole problem. It's not a mole, it's a vole. They're slightly different. They make holes in the ground, and then they pull the plants into the ground and eat them. So for that we use vole scram, which is another. So as I said, as you can see, the garden has gotten a lot bigger. These are the onions again. You can kind of see the bulbs starting to come in here at the bottom. Lettuce and spinach, we've picked quite a bit of lettuce and it keeps coming back, so that's good. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about the spinach and the lettuce is you're supposed to pick it early in the morning before the sun rises, as opposed to picking it at night, because it changes the taste of the lettuce and the spinach for whatever reason. It's really strange. This spinach, it's still not doing too well. The eggplant, you can see some buds and some flowers, and where you see the flowers, that means there's going to be an eggplant. Cucumber have taken off. We have tons of cucumber growing in. We've picked probably close to 50 different cucumbers from this plant, big huge plant. Oh hey, Mr. Bumblebee. Peppers are doing well. We're getting quite a few peppers. Some of them can be hidden, but they're in there. Here's a sunflower, much bigger since the last time you saw it. Here's the other one. Tomatoes are finally starting to come in. They're all over the place. It took a while for them to start to take off, but they finally did. Oh, and I forgot to mention the okra over here. Slowly coming in. That one's slowly coming in. I don't know how the rest of them are going to turn out. We'll see. Come back over here to the squash. Tons and tons of squash, like I said before. We have been picking squash every day. I mean, and if you really get in there, there's a ton of squash. So much. Oh, that one looks like it's going to need to be picked. We've been eating squash very regularly in our diet. Ooh, look at that one. We've been grilling them. We've been giving squash away because we can't eat all of it. There's no way we can eat all of it because there's so much of it. Like I said, the tomatoes there, coming in pretty well. These are string beans. They were kind of planted late, so they're taking a little bit. Tomato plant somehow popping up. These are the spaghetti squash. You can start to see them coming in, right? That little thing right there. That's what it's going to turn into. Now, this is the Brussels sprouts. Like I said, the worms have taken over these plants. There's holes everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous. for the most part, they're riddled with holes. This is cabbage. Cabbage seems to be doing okay. You know, it's doing better than the Brussels sprouts are doing, I think. Same with the cauliflower. Cauliflower's starting to die off. There's the head we need to pick soon. Broccoli's doing okay. They don't come in whole like this. They kind of come in like, see how this is, they're just like sticking up. It's not the kind when you buy at the grocery store, it's all round. Ours don't look like that. But every time we pick it, it seems to be coming back. See, look at that broccoli plant. It's all flowers. More tomatoes over here. Don't see. They're coming in. Oh, there's one. Thyme. Horseradish. Still haven't planted any carrots yet because that's more of a later in the season kind of plant. You can plant it when it's colder out. So that's the garden so far. You're probably asking what that blue stuff is over by that pepper plant and a couple of the pepper plants in here. That's fertilizer. It's organic fertilizer. I forget what the exact name of it is. We're trying different things. Another thing you can try for fertilizer is compost tea. And what you do with compost tea is you take what's in your compost. This is our compost. Right now there's a lot of, it needs to be mixed around, but what you do is you take it and you put it into a barrel of some sort, like a 5-gallon drum, something like this, or maybe even a trash can, and you pour water into it and you make a tea, and then you use that water, the compost tea, and you put it on all of your plants and it helps them grow. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't work. Some people get really into the science behind it and feed the compost tea or the compost unsulfured molasses because the sugar reacts with the bacteria, and when that happens it creates billions and billions of bacteria, which helps your garden grow. Honestly, if I were going to make it, I would do it the simple way and I wouldn't bother with the molasses. I would just use, you know, the tea contents. Another thing I didn't show you, which I wanted to show you, is the herbs that we have growing. We have quite a few. Okay, so we have the thyme over there, but we also have this thyme. This is oregano. This is oregano. These are chives. They're kind of dying. Flat leaf Italian parsley. Sometimes we have curly. This year we only have flat. Lots of basil. More basil and 2 kinds of mint. And dill. So yeah, that's the progress so far, the garden. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I posted that first video, and this is a follow-up of how the garden's actually doing. So we're really excited for more stuff to come in, especially the tomatoes. I've decided once, ooh, look at that, that's neat. I've decided once, you know, our season's pretty much done for the garden, I want to jar things. So I'm going to learn how to jar, you know, tomatoes, make my own tomato sauce, pickle things and jar things so that you can use them in the winter time as opposed to buying it all. We save a lot of money on the garden every year because, as you can see, especially with the squash, you never have to buy squash. We're never going to have to buy tomatoes or onions, peppers. Those things I know we're not going to have an issue with. As for some of the others that haven't been coming in too well, that's up for debate. But definitely, it's definitely a money saver. So I will repost another video later in a couple more weeks. If you have any questions, put the questions in the comments below. And I will see you in a little bit.